All right, how's everyone? All right, I'm good as well. You know, it's not 106, so I'm better. You know, you had a day off yesterday. The players had a day off. Coaches had to work a little bit, so we did that. And but Tuesday night, I think, was a good change for the players um, because it was pretty warm Tuesday afternoon. So Tuesday night was a nice change for them. It was a little bit cooler. We're under the lights, and then in the stadium, and then with the environment in the stadium with the PA system, going and the fans. I think that they got juiced up a little bit. Particularly, they had the music playing early, and so that put a little pep in their step before practice started. And so that was a good change for them, and I think that they enjoyed that. And then, during the course of the practice, we concentrated on the red zone and got a lot of work in the red zone, which we need, and so we're going to continue some of that red zone work again today. But overall, I thought that it was a decent practice. There were a few scoring plays that we were able to score. I had a quick whistle with the running backs, and they are mad at me for the quick whistle because they feel like that they could have scored some as well. But since we're not tackling, and I have the whistle, I have that. I take that liberty, and so we did that. During the course of that practice, Flo got a bruise, and so he missed some time with the bruise. But he probably will not work today, and we'll treat it and rest it, and then he'll get back out there pretty soon, hopefully. And then Ethan Johnson, he took a hit under the chin, and so we're going to rest him a day or two, and then get him back out on the field. But the only other guy, Bannon, strained his ab, and so he's not going to be out there today. But we're going to rest him a little bit, and then he'll be back on the field. So we're moving on. We got basically a 3-day work week here. We're going to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and which is Family Fun Day, and then they'll have Sunday off so that we can get into that 7-day routine with their day off, which will kind of coincide with the games that we play. Because you don't want to get into a situation where you have to give them a day off before the game. So you have to kind of time your days off to comply with the new rules that we have to work under. So they got a couple of days off right here early, but then we'll get into the routine where they'll have a day off every week as we finish up training camp. And so, they were attentive today. They're ready to work, and looks like it's going to be another nice day, so fired up.
I'm sorry, what is the Flowers' exact injury?
He's got a bruise on his foot.
You don't expect him to be out long?
I do not.
How do you feel about your depth at those positions, those cornerback positions?
Well, you know what? We have a large number of defensive backs, on the team. More safeties probably than corners as far as numbers wise, and when you line it up on the depth chart. So we probably have more than we've had, going into camp around here in a while. But Flo is a good player. Route is learning the system, and I think that he's got good ability and will be a good player for us. Javier has been with us. Travis Daniels has been with us. Jaleel Brown, he showed some improvement last year. So we feel good about those guys, and there are a couple of young guys that we're encouraged by. We just don't know what we have yet, because they're trying to learn the system. We're throwing a lot at them, and they haven't been able to show exactly what they can do yet. So we'll have to wait and see, and probably have to wait until the game time to see how they do to really be able to say this guy will help us or this guy won't help us, So and because we have so many of them, they haven't gotten as many reps as you normally get, So that's why we have to wait and see on them.
It seems like the last couple of years you've liked Travis Daniels more as a nickel guy, and then he's been playing safety for you in camp and in the offseason. Why was he the guy to stand in for Flowers?
Well, because he knows every position. He's played corner, he's played star, he can play safety, and if I'm not careful, when someone goes down, Travis is in the game right away, and so he doesn't miss an opportunity. And so he's a pro. He understands every rep is important, and so he's in tune to the game. He's in tune to practice, and every time he gets a chance to go out there, he goes out there. And so, boom, he's watching all of them. And so if one of them decides they need to come out, he's in there. And I have to pull him back sometimes, you know.
What about Jerome Brown? Is he ready for more, or is he just kind of a spot guy right now?
Well, I think that we're going to find out how much he's ready for. Like I say, he improved toward the end of last year, and I think that he's shown good ability. I think that he's at the point where we are ready to find out what he can do and what he brings to the table.
Is Travis Daniels the top backup at all 4 defensive back positions?
He can play them all. I mean, we're working him primarily as a safety and a star, but if he had to go in a corner, he goes in and he plays corner and he holds his own, you know, because he's a heady veteran, and you know he can know the ability of the receiver, know when to press, know when to play off. You know, he understands the routes, know when the guy has to make his break. And he can tell you what route the guy's going to run, you know, pretty much. And so because of his experience and his smartness, he can make plays.
How's Rodney Hudson looking to you so far? You know, moving in the starting center role, has he met your expectations?
Yeah, he really has. Like I've said, that he's been able to make the calls, and that's one of the things he's got to do. Plus, he's a strong kid. I mean, you know, he's not 6'5" or anything like that, but he's got a good build. He's strong. He's conscientious, and I think that he's going to be okay.
I mean, what's Brandon Bear's story? He comes here 26 years old last year. He's under 53, but doesn't see much action. Is he a project? Is he just, how do you see him, and where's he come from, and where's he going to go?
Well, we're going to find out where he's going to go. And that's kind of up to him, you know. You know, we have a lot of guys playing the same position he plays, and we used him as a swing guy last year, and I think that he learned the defense. He's a smart player. He just hasn't produced as much as I want him to produce yet. And if he can get to that point, then he'll help himself, you know, because he does have some size, height particularly. He's smart, he knows the defense, and he just has to play the defense a little bit better.
How much did he lose by not, has he gone from football for a little bit?
Yeah, he went on a mission,
right.
You know, and I don't know that he lost that much. I mean, you lose a year, but and the thing is, you lose that year and you get a year older. And, you know, in this game, this is a young man's game. And so, you know, you got to be able to hold your own and make yourself stand out in this business. And so we thought he did a good job last year. That's why he's still on the team this year. And now it's up to him, you know, how far he goes.
It's just different in pads. It seems that, you know, he kind of mixes in, and then when he puts on pads, you start seeing plays. Is he a guy that excels once the shells come on?
Tell me exactly what you're saying again.
Some guys, you know, when you're doing OTAs and you're not wearing pads, they just kind of blend in. And when they put pads on, you see, oh, he's making the play on the end, or he's a little bit sturdier in pads. Is he a player that kind of shows up once he begins to hit?
Well, I think that all linemen, when they put the pads on, they have an opportunity to show up, you know. And he's working at it just like the rest of the guys are. And so that's what, I mean, you know, that's all I can say about him right now. And I think, too, when we get into the preseason and we put him in the games, we'll see what he does then.
One guy who really jumped out Tuesday night was Studebaker. He was all over the place. What's his role with this defense?
Well, he's a backup linebacker. He's the third outside linebacker. You know, that's the role right now. He can play left side. He can play right side. He can go in and rush on sub as well. And I think that he's having a good camp to this point. You know, and I think that he feels good about where he is and what he brings to the table.
The other guy who was noticeable Tuesday night was, and I won't pronounce his last name, but Rapati looked like he had a nice night in practice. Where do you see his role?
Well, I see that he's going to be able to compete and help us from the depth standpoint. He has great height. He's a strong kid. He has got some surprising quickness for a big guy like that. And as soon as he learns the way we play, I think that he'll be more effective.
Does that mean, you mean the scheme or the way you play?
Yeah, the way we play.
A couple more guys.
You mentioned getting a lot of the red zone work in. What are you seeing in those situations right now? What are you maybe not seeing that you would like to see?
I like to see more scoring, but like I say, we did score some Tuesday night, but there were some opportunities that we missed, and things that we have to get better at. Like we jumped off sides one time by illegal motion. We were moving early, all right, and then we had a low snap that killed the play, so we got to eliminate those kind of things and take advantage of the opportunities when they come.
Do you think Matt Cass was making all the right reads in those situations?
Matt is doing a good job for us. Yeah.
Wiley kind of gave you a little nose to the end zone on one of them.
Yeah, he sure did. That's right. And that's the thing that you want to see from your offensive players. When they get close, give you that extra to get into the end zone.
Last one, Adam. You recall when you talked about Toribio a couple of days ago. Do you recall when he really first caught your eye? Do you remember maybe looking at him when he was coming out for the draft that year, or was it after you got him in?
After I got here. After I got here and he was here, then he kind of showed up. Like I say, he's a great technician, and did a really nice job last year. And if he hadn't gotten hurt, I think he would have been competing for the starting position. But he got hurt, and he was always just on the team and never got dressed for the games. And so if he can stay healthy, I think that he'll help the team.
You feel like you need to be patient with those big guys more so than a guy at another position? Is that
well? I think the big guys, they play a position where the discipline that's required to play the way I want them to play takes a little bit more time, and so I have to understand that and give them more time. But if they're showing me that they're doing it the way I want it done, and they're making some progress, even though it might be slight and might not be jumping out at everybody else, but if I see progress, then I'm encouraged that the guy will be able to help us, at some point.
What's he doing now that maybe he wasn't doing last year? Anything? What's he showing?
He's staying healthy, and he's reading all the blocks, and he's playing good technique, and he's winning the blocks he's supposed to win.
Edgar Jones passed today?
Yep.
Willis passed tomorrow?
Yep.
Anything new with Reeves?
He should be in tonight or tomorrow at the latest.
Anything new with that other guy, Paul?
Who? No, I have not heard from Dwayne, and so I'm just excited about Baldwin and what's happening with him and Breston and McCluster and those guys.
All right. Thank you. Hey, guys, just so you know,